Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else, and the video I'm bringing you today, we are going to do a gear set review for Yandir's Might. Now, this is a pretty interesting set. I'm not going to lie, I didn't look this one over in the PTS or in the patch notes because it was part of the new trial sets. Somebody mentioned it on one of my streams, said, hey, you should check this out, and I did, and it's really good. It's really good. So I'm going to dive into it. I'm going to go through what it is, what it does. I'm going to show how it could potentially be viable for your future build. And then I'm going to talk about the major drawback to it. So with that being said, let's dive into it. Yandir's Might, like I said, is the medium armor set that you get in the new trial. 2-piece, 129 weapon damage, 3-piece, gain Minor Slayer at all times, increasing your damage done to dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 5%. Now, this doesn't impact us. I mean, a lot of us are Cyrodiil monsters, but it specifically doesn't say Cyrodiil monsters, so we don't have to worry. This 3-piece bonus is wasted on us. That's part of the reason why I wasn't looking at it initially. But it makes up for it with the 4 and 5-piece. 4-piece is stamina recovery. 5-piece we get physical pen. This is the perfected set. And then the other part of the 5-piece, dealing critical damage grants you a stack of Giant's Endurance, up to 1 a second. Each stack of Giant's Endurance adds 100 stamina recovery and stacks up to 5 times. So this turns out to 500 recovery, which also scales with our major and minor endurance. On a build, this was scaling up to 1,000 extra recovery on a build that I was running. Dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack, removes Giant's Endurance, and grants Giant's Might for 10 seconds, increasing your weapon damage by 158 per stack removed. So, quick math here. This turns out to 780 or 790 weapon damage for the 5-piece set for 10 seconds. Also, before you charge your heavy attack, it is 500 plus recovery depending on the build that you're on. This set, I compared it. If you guys didn't see my video a couple days ago, I compared Stun and New Moon. I guess it's called Stun, but whatever. I compared Stun and New Moon Acolyte, and what I found, if I can find it, with New Moon, I was getting 3642 non-fractured, non-crit D-swings. With Yandir fully procced, I was getting 3850. Yandir fully buffed, and it makes sense. This is more damage than New Moon Acolyte. It also doesn't come at an increased cost. So it's a very intriguing set. I'm going to show you what it is and what it does, but it's any sort of critical damage. So if I hit Noxus on all these guys and the dots crit, you're going to see every second I'm going to get a stack. Now if we look at my buff bar, on the bottom of the screen, the 4th one from the left that has the number 5 in the lower right hand corner, that's the Yandir's buff. And so with that up, I get increased recovery. And it stays on my bar. There's no cooldown on it. Well, like as long as I have the set on, I have this buff. Now, the other cool part about this set is, and I wanted to show you guys this, but I'm wearing a Ruby Ash bow on the back bar. Now, I shouldn't have to go into the benefits and the pros and cons of how powerful a Ruby Ash bow is, but if you guys want that gear set review, I can do that. I'm just showing you that I'm not running Yandir on both bars. I only have it on the front bar. So if you guys look at my buff tracker on the bottom, when I switch bars to my non-Yandir bar, I do not lose the stacks. So that means you can single bar this and you can gain the stacks of recovery. Now, when you do a fully charged heavy attack, your arms light up with this like white lightning, which is pretty cool. And for 10 seconds, you have 790 weapon damage that also scales. And as soon as the stacks disappear, like that, we can start building them once again. And so if you have a couple of dots and while you're on that bar, you're going to accumulate these stacks pretty easily. And yeah, so when I look at this set and when I was comparing it to other powerful damage sets, this set gives you more burst damage than New Moon. This set gives you more burst damage without having to worry about a cost increase like New Moon. It doesn't have 100% uptime like New Moon does. You either have recovery or the damage. You never have both. But this does have some exciting effects in PvP, because if you're out there 1vxing and like 5 or 10 people jump on you, like you're going to just have naturally more recovery while these stacks are up. And if you can't go on the offensive, it's going to allow you to sustain longer and build up your damage. And so if I have like 5 snipers come out of stealth and they're like shitting on me and I have to like bounce around and I got to heal up and all these other sorts of things, I can do that. And then when I finally catch one, I can do a fully charged heavy attack, D-swing, heavy attack, knock them off balance, leap, and for 10 seconds I have this ridiculous amount of damage. This is more damage than Warrior's Fury fully procced as well. Warrior's Fury is 20 stacks times 30, which is 600 weapon damage. This is 790. This is almost 50% more damage for the 5-piece than Warrior's Fury is. And the other cool part is, and it depends, like it's going to depend, but Warrior's Fury takes, at best, 10 seconds to proc. Every half second you can gain a stack. So for 10, it takes you 10 seconds to get to full stacks, and then you have full stacks for 10 seconds before you build it. This has the potential to only take 5 seconds. So obviously that's not going to happen. Like it's very rarely 20 people are going to be in front of you like this and you're going to survive. But if you have a couple dots and you hit a few people, like 1 or 2 people with dots, this is going to accumulate really quickly. A fully charged heavy attack will proc it, and then as soon as it goes, your buff goes down, you can go back to dealing more dot damage and then gaining your procs back. And so I think it's going to be a very interesting set. You could obviously double bar it too. Like I'm just saying you can double bar it or single bar it, but you don't necessarily have to. So I look at this set and I think it's a very intriguing option for dizzying swing builds because you know, we're already, like let's say, you know, we're D-swinging this guy, right? And we set him off balance. Well, we can either stun him and put him on the ground with a medium weave, or we can stun him on the ground with a heavy attack. If we use a heavy attack with a two-hander, we also have the follow-up passive, which gives us 10% more damage on our next attack. So this gives us 10% more damage, and it's a stun, and it procs Yandir. So our burst on our leap could actually like coordinate well. We don't have to do anything fancy. You know, it's not like, and I'm not saying this is a bad set, but it's not like Essence Thief where you have to like drop the dot and then go pick it up, where sometimes it could be kind of clunky, and when you're 1vxing, it's not very powerful. In this situation, the minute you go on the offensive and you set somebody off balance, you can go right into a heavy attack for the stun, and you get your proc, and then you have 10 seconds of weapon damage. So I think it has very exciting potential. I think this automatically makes it one of the better sets to get in PvP for stamina-based builds. Now, you're hearing all these positives, and you're like, okay, well, what's the downside? Well, this is the perfected version. If you want the perfected version, you have to go farm the new trial on Veteran. And a lot of PvP players do not want to do PvE for their PvP gear. So a lot of people will not use this set for that reason. I do think this is a great set. I definitely think it's worth getting. But I do not know how hard or how difficult the new trial is going to be. So it's going to come down to whether or not, you know, you can do it, you know, like if you have the gear and the rotation to farm this, or, you know, maybe it's like a few of the other trials where you go in and you can go into a room and open a chest and you don't really have to kill any bosses, then you reset the dungeon and you leave and then you all go in there again. I don't know how this is going to be farmed, but it's definitely worth trying to get. So if it's an easier trial, I definitely recommend going out to get it. Hell, I would even recommend that if you don't have a rotation, I would consider working on a rotation so you can get in there and get this gear. Like you just get five body pieces or some combination of body pieces and jewelry, transmute it and get out. Like that's what I would do, or that's probably what I'm going to do, because I think the set's really good. So that's going to be the end of this video. That's going to be the end of this gear set review. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide it in the section below. I'll do my best to answer it. A lot more testing coming, a lot more gear set reviews coming on the monster sets, the light armor sets, all those other sorts of things. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, I highly recommend subscribing to my channel. That way you can stay tuned to the upcoming change of events, because as we always know, PTS is a changing and fickle beast, and this is only week 1, so we got, what, 3 more weeks at least? So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.